How's she going, boys? Great to have you back in Grandpa's workshop. Mike here. This is part four of our video series that we're doing on maintenance for the Snowblade dozer blade. And today's big job is we're going to try and put new feet on our skid shoes. And we're going to do some pretty fancy welding. You just watch and see. So what I'm doing is these are the feet on the skids, and they're in bad shape. So what I think I'm going to do is just cut them right completely off. And I'm just going to cut this shoe off here best I can, and we'll see what it looks like. So now I'm just going to trim off a little bit of these cuts and then put it on the grinder and buffer up and see what I come up with. So I cut the end off and I ground her off, put a little bevel on it. Tried to make this as flat as I could. So now we're going to set up and weld this to the shoe. So look at the crazy setup I have here. What I need to do is weld this stub at right angles to the shoe. So I took a piece of 2x6 and I cut a hole out of the bottom 3 inches in diameter because my shoe is dished out, so I can set the shoe in that to hold that straight. And then when I cleaned up the end of these stub shafts, then I set that on there, and then I drilled a 1.25 inch hole in this piece of 2x4, if you can see that, to sit on top so that it would hold it good. And then with a couple of wood clamps, because that's all I have, I clamped that down, and then I checked it with a square, and as near as I can tell, that's well within shop standards of being at right angles to the top edge of this shoe disc. Now, before the bugs get too bad, I'm going to gear up the welder, and I'm going to try and put a couple of spots on that, and then I can tack it all the way around. Welding is not my strong suit, but just a couple of tacks is all I'm really interested in. Okay, I'm going to try and go around it, see what happens. Wish me luck. Well, I'm going to take the clamps off, see what happens. Look at that. I made it hot anyway. Okay, I'm going to try and clean that up a little bit and fix the welds. cleaned up that shaft as best I could and around this shoe here. So the weld is kind of snotty looking, but it'll hold, I think. So then I have this Belleville washer, 1.25" ID. Get around here. So I'm going to slit that over here, and then weld around here and around here, and then hopefully that'll make it good and solid. Man, I wish I could weld. This would be so much nicer. So we'll see how that looks. I better put a few more tacks on that. Alright, as you can plainly see, I'm no welder, but there's enough metal in there to sink the Titanic. Oh, it's still a little warm. So I think that'll hold her. And just going to put it in one of the shoes on the plow blade now, just see what it looks like. So there it is installed. This shaft ended up being, I don't know, a ½ inch shorter because of all the wear that was on the end of it. And now with the new scraper blade out here and the bigger shoe on here, this wear shoe, I had to put extra Bellevilles down here for spacers, and that made it so that it almost couldn't get the linchpin in at the top. So the trick now, I guess, is to monitor these, and when they start to wear down almost through the bottom of them, then I'll take and grind them off and make a new set again. But anyway, it doesn't look pretty, but I think it's more than ample to withstand the abuse that I'll put it through. Alright, we've got both feet done, and I put them in the plow. So this is the one I just finished, and I can spin that around, and if you look, it turned out pretty square. And the welding, well, I'm not going to show you the welding, it's welded, let's just say that. Anyway, there's both feet. I'm going to turn the blade up now and just see what it looks like. So there it is. I've got 4 Belleville washers back to back under the feet, right here, right there, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they so I can change that and make the adjustment so that this blade can be closer to grade, but that's going to be good. So, what did you think of that? Some maintenance on the snow blade dozer blade. I thought that would be about an afternoon's work. It turned out to be more like 2.5 days worth of work. Hey, but there was some pretty tricky welding there, you got to admit that. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed that little video doing the maintenance on my blade. Turning that edge around, that's going to be a big difference because it's a nice sharp edge on it now. And those new feet, that'll certainly help as well. And I'm glad that I got my hitch and all those moving parts lubed up and fixed around. I feel a lot better now about using my blade. Anyways, I'm glad you tuned in. I hope you watched all 4 episodes, or parts or pieces of all 4 episodes. And I hope to see you back again for the next video. So until then, boys, thumbs up me and we'll talk to you.